What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Lake. We got Dustin on the show. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, man? Once again, thanks for having me. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Week 4 of the 2020 season. We're going to break down the games. We talked about Colts and Bears, our two teams on the other show or other episode, but we're going to get to the rest of the week here, which is something we should have been doing from the very beginning, but we'll start to it. We'll get to it now and go through this way the rest of the year. Let's start out with the 2-1 Cardinals at the 1-2 Panthers. The Panthers improved to 2-0 without star running back Christian McCaffrey. Running back Mike Davis filling in nicely. Surprising stat right there. Never thought we'd see the Panthers 2-0 without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, they just have, Rules doing a great job there, and so is who's their quarterback? I'm sorry, man.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
He
My
seems
mind
to
went.
be he seems to be fitting that offense pretty nicely. What's his name? Joe Brady offense. So another big addition there is Robbie Anderson from the Jets, fitting in really nicely with Bridgewater.
Yeah, sorry guys, my mind went blank. I knew Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback.
It's all good. It happens to the best of us. Panthers jump out to a 28-7 lead on the Cardinals. Cardinals coming off a loss against the Lions, down 28-7, not good. They're able to come back somewhat, but they lose 31-21. Cardinals, after starting out 2-0, have lost 2 straight, back-to-back losses to not only the Lions, but now the Panthers as well. What do you think is going on in Arizona? Why are the Cardinals on a 2-game losing streak?
I really don't know what's going on, but I just think that they maybe they really weren't as good as what we think they are.
Yeah.
I mean, their first 2 wins, Washington football team, we don't really know who they are.
Yeah.
And the 49ers, they beat a good 49ers team, but after that, they just, haven't played very good football.
Yeah, it's hard to – I think we're still trying to figure out who the Cardinals are. They have high expectations. They've got Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins. But on a 2-game losing streak, they're starting to get some questions. And I think a lot of it, for whatever reason, seems to be on defense. Poor tackling, poor coaching. Defensive coordinator Vance Joseph is getting some question marks. But Kyler Murray also needs to cut down on turnovers. And I've never been a big fan of their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think that he, is necessarily a winning NFL head coach, offensive coordinator type. A lot of experts pick the Cardinals to make the playoffs. Do you think that can still happen? You think it will happen?
It's possible, but man, they got the Seahawks in their division.
Yeah.
And
the Rams are doing all right.
Yeah, the way that the NFC is going, I don't see it happening, to be honest.
Me neither. I think they're a good team, but not a great team, and I think they're a borderline playoff team. I don't think they will make the playoffs.
The NFC is just too strong.
Yeah, and the adversity is starting to hit, and they've never really been through the adversity before. It's a young team, a new identity, and I think there will be growing pains in Arizona. It's not as easy. You don't just put DeAndre Hopkins and star players on a roster and just win. It takes time. It takes establishing a culture, all that stuff, chemistry. The 1-2 Jags and the 0-2-1 Bengals. Joe Burrow gets his first win of his career over the Jags. The Jags fall to 1-3. Big win for the Bengals. Joe Mixon goes off 180 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns. Are you a Joe Mixon fan?
Yeah, I've always liked Joe Mixon, even when he came out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I called him a poor man's Le'Veon Bell, and you're starting to see it. prime Joe Mixon is really balling.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that Burrow got his first win. He
Yep,
looks he looks legit, man.
he
First
does.
3 games, 300 yards passing.
Yep, good completion percentage, all that stuff. Jags undrafted rookie running back James Robinson continues to perform. I don't think he's had a bad game yet. Over 100 scrimmage yards in this one. I know they're division rival, but you have to be impressed with that undrafted rookie running back.
Yeah, I've been impressed since the first moment I seen him week 1. I honestly didn't know who the guy was, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden he just started busting out 100-yard games.
he just runs hard. He looks like an NFL running back. The Jags, DJ Chark, 2 touchdown catches. Minshew goes for 350 passing yards, but not enough for the win. Jags fall to 1-3. We didn't think Jacksonville was going to be a very good team this year. I don't think they are. I think they're doing as expected. Bengals, same thing there. I think this is 2, finishing 4th in their division type team. So bad team versus bad team. Browns at Cowboys, 2-1 Browns at the 1-2 Cowboys. Browns jump out to a 41-14 lead early fourth quarter. First of all, what do you think seeing the Browns up like 20 plus on Dallas?
Yeah, that was surprising to me because I'm still not 100% on the Browns. I don't know how good they are exactly.
Yeah,
So, but the Cowboys, man, that's starting to turn into a dumpster fire down in Dallas.
it is. I mean, they were down 41-14. They get all the way back to 41-38. And then a stupid decision to squib the kick gives Cleveland the ball at the 50-yard line. And then Odell Beckham Jr. takes a reverse 50 yards for a touchdown. Cowboys worked so hard to get back into this game. And then two plays later, they're down double digits again. Weren't able to overcome it. If you think about it, the Cowboys were a weird onside kick recovery away from being 0-4 right now.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, they have no defense.
Yeah, they really don't. And they've got talent. You look at that defense, there's no reason they should be as bad as they are.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy, this is not a very good look for him so far.
No, it isn't. Not only losing games, but poor decision making. That comeback against Atlanta was cool, but I think we've seen almost every team in football come back against Atlanta. So
Yeah, Atlanta's not very good.
yeah. So Browns jump out to 3-1 for the first time since 2001. Playoffs? Is this Browns team? Is this the team that Baker Mayfield can get to the playoffs? I don't think so. What do you think?
I actually do. I think it's going to be a wild card.
Wow. I got to see it to believe it. I mean, I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. I think I like the coach, Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a much better coach than Freddie Kitchens. They've got the talent. Really, there's no excuses. The Browns should be a playoff team, but I'm not a believer in Baker Mayfield, and he's got to prove it to me. Dallas just looks like a dumpster fire. But oddly enough, they're only a half game out, I think, of the division. So, that NFC East is so bad, we might see like a 7-9 team get into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's pretty pitiful, man. I mean, the NFC East is the new NFC West, what they used to be. Remember, like Seattle 7-9 and
Yep.
getting into the playoffs, the Rams.
As Skip Bayless likes to call it, it's not the NFC East, it's the NFC least.
Yeah, it's that division is sad. It's very sad.
Saints, Lions, 1-2 Saints at the 1-2 Lions. A big game for the Saints to avoid a 1-3 start. I mean, imagine what people would be saying if the Saints started 1-3. They'd be like, the Saints are done. Drew Brees is too old. There would be a lot of conversation. Saints did a good job coming back to beat the Lions and get back to 500, get back to 2-2. I mean, imagine if the Saints had started 1-3. That wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, I mean, the talks were already started when they were 1-2. Like Drew Brees can't do this. He's lost his touch and
Well,
all that kind of stuff. So if they would have fell to 1-3, Brees would have been the big topic. Oh, he should retire and stuff like that, you know?
yeah, they should put Taysom Hill. They should start Taysom Hill at quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Even Jameis Winston talk would have been out there. But good on the Saints. I mean, the Giants jump out to a 14-0 lead. And some people, I saw some people saying, like, Lions could get this win. But I was like, no, let's give it some time. The Lions are known for blowing leads. And that's exactly what they did. They allowed 35 straight Saints points, and the Cowboy or the Saints end up winning 35-29 and holding them off. But I mean, Detroit just known for those second half blowing leads. Stafford with a bad interception in the end zone. Just a terrible throw that you can't do, taking points off the board. If you look back, if Stafford doesn't throw that pick and they get a touchdown, the Lions could have potentially won. So, safe to kind of, you can kind of question Stafford on his decision making, at least in this game.
Yeah, Stafford is a great quarterback, but he's known to make the boneheaded plays that really cost Detroit.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they haven't gotten a playoff win yet. Is I agree. Stafford has the arm talent and is a pretty good quarterback, but just at times he makes some dumb decisions. Now, with the score 35-27, the Lions score a touchdown to get within one score. They decided to go for two here to make it, 35-29. But if they don't get it, then they're down 8 and would have to go for two again. What am I missing here? What's the benefit of going for two down 8 to make it a 6-point game instead of just kicking the extra point? Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, I can see it because of the fact that, they probably didn't want to play for overtime.
Uh-huh.
And if you get the ball back, go down and score, you kick the extra point for the win.
Yeah, but what if you don't get it? Then you're forcing yourself to go for two just a tie. And then that's a pretty shitty situation to be in.
That's the rough part. That's taking
the
gamble.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't want my coach taking those gambles. I want the players on the field taking the gambles, not the coaches. But that's just me. Is Matt Patricia safe for now? They're 1-3. That one win seems to have bought him a couple weeks. What do you think on Matt Patricia, 1-3?
Yeah, I think winning that game against the Cardinals, like you said, gave him a couple weeks, but I think he's still gone by the end of the season.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't see them bouncing back and making the playoffs. So, and that's probably the only thing that could keep Patricia on the team. I saw a stat that Matt Patricia would have to go 28-2 in his next 30 games to equal the same winning percentage as Jim Caldwell when he was the head coach.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell, in my opinion, got taken out of his position too early, man.
Yeah.
He's a good coach. He proved it in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't understand those. It was 26-2, but I mean, still, don't understand those kind of decisions. Firing a coach after a winning season, doesn't make much sense to me. Looking at the winless Vikings at the winless Texans, 0-3. Vikings lead by as much as 31-16 in the fourth, but need a goal line stand to hold the Texans from tying the game up. They win 31-23. The Texans fall to 0-4, which is pretty shocking, and they fired head coach Bill O'Brien on Monday after the game. Kind of surprising to see them fire the coach, but at 0-4 with a talented roster kind of makes sense. What do you think on the move?
Yeah, this was a long time coming. I mean, he's the reason why DeAndre Hopkins isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Is because, he butted heads with Hopkins and stuff like that. But when you have Deshaun Watson at quarterback and all them talented receivers, and a defense that has known in the past to be great, and you go 0-4 to start the season, that's never good.
No, it isn't. And, yeah, it doesn't make any sense for the Texans to be 0-4. Too talented, and that's why you get fired. I should have said Bill O'Brien would get fired by week 4, but I never would have believed it. You know, I mean, I agree it was a long time coming, but it was still kind of shocking at the same time.
Well, yeah, I mean, because after the season they had last year,
Yeah.
you never would have imagined the Texans starting off 0-4.
Yeah, I guess shit happens when you trade away your best receiver, a top 3 receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And start 0-4. Big win for the Vikings as they get their first win of the year at 1-3. Big game for Dalvin Cook, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vikings 1-3. You think they can turn it around, get back to 500 soon, or are they not a very good team?
I think they're having their struggles. I don't really see them having that great of a season.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin Jefferson isn't exactly the replacement, for Stephon Diggs that they were hoping. So,
and that could definitely very well be another coach that's on the hot seat.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. 3-0 Seahawks go into Miami, beat the Dolphins. The Seahawks get to 4-0. Dolphins drop to 1-3. Fitzpatrick throws 2 interceptions at 1-3. You think are we on Tua watch? Is Tua going to be starting for the Dolphins here soon?
I'm ready for Tua, man. I hated Alabama, but Tua was in college a once in a lifetime quarterback. So
yeah,
I am definitely ready for Tua time.
Yeah, and there's no denying his talent. So you definitely want to see how he does in the NFL. Seahawks get out to a 4-0 start. Are the Seahawks Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, they definitely are. But, there's a quarterback over in Green Bay who has something to say about that.
Oh, that could be a rematch in the playoffs. Seattle, Green Bay, maybe the NFC Championship game this year. But they played last year. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, and the two best going head-to-head, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see if Russell Wilson finally gets some MVP votes this year. I think he should be the favorite at this point.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a year.
Yeah, he's cooking. And it helps having DK Metcalf. And when DK Metcalf was coming out of the draft, I projected him to the Packers. Imagine what the Packers would look right now if they had DK Metcalf.
Whew. Rodgers would be looking like he's Jesus, man.
Hey, good thing Green Bay didn't listen to Alex Leak. Good thing.
And, I mean, we were talking in the draft about Green Bay not getting receivers, but, man, at this point, when you got Rodgers back there, you can almost do anything.
Yeah. When you're throwing 3 touchdown passes in a game to Robert Tonyan, I mean, come on. He could do that with anybody.
How is he playing so well being so old?
Because he's pissed off. He's pissed off at the Packers. He's got something to play for. He wants to show out this year so that he'll get, he'll have a lot of interest and they'll trade him away this offseason. I think. That's my prediction.
The NFC better be prepared because it doesn't look like Rodgers is going to be able to be stopped this season.
Oh, I think that he's stoppable. I mean, it is pretty impressive what he's doing with no Devontae Adams the last couple of weeks. I mean, I agree. He's looking pretty damn explosive right now, and Aaron Jones is a beast as well in the running game. We'll see. It's going to take – he's always tough to beat, so you're right. There'll probably be a problem all year in the NFC. We'll see if someone like Seattle can keep him out of the Super Bowl. But, I mean, we keep going back to it. Imagine if, we talked about T. Higgins, who's with the Bengals. Imagine if T. Higgins or any one of these rookies was in Green Bay, could be helping out a lot instead of Robert Tonyan being the guy.
CD Lamb.
Oh, my God. Don't even talk about that if they had CD Lamb. But we didn't even mention, the Cowboys 1-3. Dak Prescott is leading the league in passing yards. I know he's had to come back from big leads, but he's on pace right now to throw for 6,700 yards this season.
Jeez.
We've never had a 6,000-yard passer. I don't think it happens, but Jesus, if Dak Prescott does that, he's getting Mahomes money if he throws for 6K.
Yeah, plus he could throw for 6K and have a losing record. That's very unusual.
Yeah, that would be nuts. But we've seen it before. I believe Stafford threw for 5K and had a losing record, so it's possible. Because the thing is, when you're constantly playing from behind, you throw for more yards, you know.
Yeah, it's
It's an interesting league. Let's go to Chargers at Bucks. Tom Brady throws an early pick six, and the Chargers jumped out to a 24-7 lead. Had us all looking at our TVs like, wow. But then a costly fumble by Chargers rookie running back Josh Kelly sets up the Bucks for a touchdown right before halftime. And then Tom Brady got it going in the second half, and corner Carlton Davis clinches the win with an interception off of Justin Herbert. Bucks improved to 3-1. Brady threw 5 touchdowns in the game. Brady seems to be coming in hot for the Thursday night game against the Bears in Soldier Field. Bears defense better be ready for that one. Brady looking vintage mode. Take away that pick six. He looked amazing in that game.
yeah. I mean, Brady was Brady,
Yeah.
and the fact that they're getting better, that's dangerous for the league as well.
I mean, we got to talk about Brady being Brady, but what is he, 43 years old now? I mean, how long can he keep this going?
Well, I mean, he said it himself till at least he's 45.
That's incredible, man. I mean, I know he said it, but I don't think anybody believed him.
Yeah, and I'd like to give a shout out, man. Justin Herbert is actually a decent quarterback for a rookie.
He is. He's playing pretty well. You can see why he was taken as high as he was in the draft. I mean, at this point, looking at so far, are you still taking Joe Burrow number 1 overall if you redo the draft, or is Justin Herbert? Are they like 1A, 1B right now?
I still got to go with Burrow just because Burrow has arm talent, man. He's just on a bad team.
Yeah, he does. Herbert's on the better team. He's got Keenan Allen, those guys.
If you was to put Burrow on the Chargers, I think Burrow has one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history.
Yeah, I could agree with that. They have a better defense around them, better weapons, yeah. But the Chargers fall to 1-3 as expected, and I don't expect them to have a very good year. Probably around 6-10, 7-9 at best. Like we predicted, pretty much. Our predictions are holding true for the most part.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're smart as hell is what we're getting at.
Yeah, we are smart as hell, but I was just throwing predictions out there because the NFL surprises you, man. There are teams that are usually good that have bad seasons, and teams that are bad that shock you and be like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the 2-1 Ravens at 1-2 Washington. On 4th and goal from the 13, down 18 points. Head coach Ron Rivera elects to go for it and comes up short. Field goal would have cut it down to 2 scores. What am I missing here? Down 18, it's 4th and goal from the 13. Why not kick the field goal, make it a 13-point game? Then you're down 2 scores. I don't understand. Tell me this: would you have gone for it on 4th and goal from the 13?
No, I'm probably kicking it.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer to the average football fan. Anyone that plays Madden, who knows the game, it's like 4th and goal from the 13. Chances are the defense is just going to sit at the goal line and make sure nothing gets past them.
You got to go for points these days, man.
Exactly. Ron Rivera said he wanted to test the young quarterback Dwayne Haskins, saying, quote, "I'm a little disappointed in the situational awareness. He'll have to understand that the ball has to be put in a position to put into the end zone." Me to Ron Rivera, I'm a little disappointed in the situational awareness myself. For you, Rivera, I don't want to hate on Ron Rivera, because I know he's going through a lot right now, battling cancer and all that. So maybe that, I don't even want to bring that up, but come on, man. Like, take the points. And how are you going to sit here and discredit Dwayne Haskins for that decision? I mean, you're talking about Dwayne Haskins' situational awareness. Where's Ron Rivera, the head coach's situational awareness? What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree, but Rivera's mind, in my opinion, is on other things that are more important in life.
Yeah, I agree. But should he be making these decisions then if that's where his mind is at? You know what I'm saying? I don't
I
want.
honestly don't think that he should really be coaching at the moment.
Yeah, take the year
Just
off, right?
yeah, and actually Haskins just got benched today for Kyle Allen.
I know. We're gonna get to that here in a second, but I mean, I understand. Like, you want to support Ron Rivera. Like, oh man, he's battling through cancer treatment, and he's still a head coach. I'm a fan. I've always been a Ron Rivera fan. Riverboat Ron. But if this is the decisions you're making, and he had a couple decisions last year with the Panthers that I gave him shit for. I just don't understand. No one that watches football on a consistent basis agrees with going for it on 4th and goal from the 13. Your goal, he's making it sound like this is, I want to test Dwayne Haskins' time. That is not the time to test Dwayne Haskins. The time to test him is in the preseason. The time to get points is when it all matters in the regular season. You want to get the most wins you can out of your team. You want to get the most points in a game you can. And deciding to go for it here just rings hollow when you should be trying to win football games. You shouldn't be trying to test your young quarterback there.
Yeah, I think that was just a way of him not owning up to the fact that he wanted to go for it himself, and he just tried to say, hey, I have a young quarterback and I'm trying to test him. He's using that for an excuse.
Yeah, then you're putting it all on the young quarterback who's you're trying to develop. And that I disagree with as well. Like, as a head coach, you're supposed to have your players' backs. You're supposed to earn their trust. And so he's trying to throw a young, developing quarterback under the bus because of a dumb decision that he made. I don't agree with it. Haskins on the play, quote, they were all covered. Defense was expecting a pass into the end zone, so I checked down to give a player an opportunity to break a tackle and make a play underneath. I 100%, I agree with where Haskins is coming from. If my head coach is like, go for it here on 4th and goal from the 13, I'm like, what the hell is he thinking, first of all? I just want to kick a field goal, get points. So I'm not – what does he want Haskins to do here? Throw it into the end zone at all costs and throw an interception? It makes no sense.
I think that was just a boneheaded call by Rivera, and basically as a head coach, especially somebody who's young, you should never sit there and put the blame on them.
Yes, and so then it leads me, it's very similar to what's going on in Chicago. You got a young quarterback that the head coach doesn't agree with or doesn't believe in. So then he benches him to go to a guy that he does believe in, that knows his system in Carolina, and Kyle Allen. And what has Kyle Allen shown in the NFL? Absolutely nothing. It's just going with the quarterback that you prefer, that is better at running your offense instead of adjusting to the talents of the player you have and trying to win with them. To me, it shows a lack of coaching ability, and it's not a good look for Ron Rivera. I hate to rail on Ron Rivera here, but the decision, I'm only reacting to the decision. Mike Wilbon railed on it today on PTI. He said, so they benched Dwayne Haskins in favor of Kyle Allen. Wilbon says Haskins is 3-8 as a starter. I'm going to give you the records of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that were starters. Troy Aikman started 0-11. Peyton Manning started 3-13. Both Hall of Famers. Way too early to make this decision on Dwayne Haskins. And then look at this Washington roster. who on that roster, what skill position players is there that you even recognize or know besides Terry McLaurin? You look at it. Who's Antonio Gibson, rookie running back? Didn't do much. Look at their receivers. Look at their skill position. Antonio Gandy Golden. Like, who are these guys? And you're asking Dwayne Haskins to make, you know, chicken salad out of chicken shit, pretty much, and then criticizing him for not coming through on a 4th and 13. Come on now.
That's the truest statement. I mean, it's in my opinion, Rivera should have really set out this season and took care of what he had to take care of. But that's besides the points. Kudos to him for proving
that's a good point. That's a good point you made. I don't want to criticize Ron Rivera, and maybe he should have not coached the season if his mind is elsewhere. I'm rooting for him. I want him to beat the cancer. That goes without saying. But if you're going to make the decision to coach coach, regardless of what's going on in your life, if you're going to coach, then we're going to criticize coaching decisions. We criticize football decisions. And so we disagree with that. And I think that's, I think that you can respect that. I mean, I don't like criticizing Ron Rivera here, but I don't understand the decision. I think you agree with me.
Yeah, and one more thing here. Haskins, should still be able to have his chance start because not very many quarterbacks in their first 2 years come in and have winning records.
Yeah, or light the world on fire. Yeah,
like you said, man, he has nobody to throw to. He's out there throwing at dummies.
Yep.
People nobody even know who they are.
A bold take here. I think you take Dwayne Haskins off the field here on 4th and goal to 13. You put Patrick Mahomes in there. I still don't think they pick up the touchdown.
Oh, that one's tough, man.
Well, considering who he's throwing to. If you got Mahomes throwing to Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins, sure. But let's say he's throwing to Terry McLaurin and whoever the hell Washington has on that roster. I don't think it gets completed. I think it's an interception. To ask any quarterback to complete 4th and goal to 13 is ludicrous, and you can't judge someone's talent based on that.
I agree 100%. And, again, that's putting a young quarterback's back against the wall because –
Exactly. You're supposed to be putting your young quarterback in position to succeed, and then having his back if he doesn't do it, not saying, hey, here, throw it up into coverage, and then I'm going to drag you post-game. Yeah,
if I was Haskins, I'd be speaking up and pretty upset about that.
Yeah, and to his credit, he hasn't. He hasn't thrown Ron Rivera under the bus. I thought he had a good reaction to that decision. And sure, he got benched in Washington. If Washington gives up on Haskins that quickly, he's going to land a spot somewhere else and watch him destroy it there. There's already people talking about Kyle Shanahan making a trade to bring Dwayne Haskins to the 49ers.
Yeah, that would be a good trade. And Kyle Shanahan would be able to show him the ropes, and I think he'd do pretty well there.
I agree. So enough of that rant. Let's move on. Let's go to the 0-3 Giants against the 2-1 Rams. Pretty much basic. The Rams get the win, get to 3-1. Rams missed the playoffs last year. You think they can get back to you think they will get back to the playoffs this year after a pretty good start?
I do, man. That defense is back to what they were when they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well. McVay.
Aaron Donald is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, and then you got Jalen Ramsey on the back end and a lot of talent there in L.A. In a new stadium. They got their swagger back.
Goff doing very well this season.
Goff, I don't believe in Goff. I don't trust Goff in big games. So for that reason, I think they could make the playoffs, but I don't see them going to the Super Bowl again. I think that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing for Goff.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, Giants fall to 0-4. No Saquon Barkley. Not a lot of talent there in New York. So 0-4 makes sense.
Yeah, they're probably going to go 0-16.
I mean, no Saquon is a backbreaker. Daniel Jones, He's slowly coming along, but there's not a lot of talent there, especially on defense. Um, the Bills, 3-0 Bills, have the 2-1 Raiders. A sneaky good game. The Bills go to 4-0. The Raiders fall to 2-2. Josh Allen looking like a pretty damn good quarterback this far into the year. What's your thoughts on the 4-0 Bills?
Yeah, the Bills might be the real deal. They could be the team out of the AFC to challenge the Chiefs when it comes down to it.
And
And
speaking of which, we've got a Bills Chiefs game coming up. I believe that's week 6. Yeah, week 6 in Buffalo on Thursday night. Chiefs Bills.
put some respect on Josh Allen's name. You know, I
Yeah.
I remember when he was first drafted. Oh, he's just going to be one of them average, below average quarterbacks. But this man
Yep.
is balling.
I was one of the few guys on this podcast that had Josh Allen's back. I don't think I was 100% on board with him, but I thought that he was the best comparing him to Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and those guys, Josh Rosen. I liked Josh Allen.
Yeah, he was the best player out of that draft.
Yeah, and my nickname for him, I keep saying it. He's the white Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He can run, man. So that Bills team playing pretty good, and the Stephon Diggs addition is really helping. The Raiders fall to 2-2. What's your thoughts on the Vegas Raiders going forward?
Oh man, the Raiders are really, a hard thing to talk about, man, because they have
Yeah,
their moments where they're really good, and then they have their moments where they don't look as good. And
yeah. If they wanted me to buy into what the Raiders are doing, this was a perfect game to do it. Beat the Bills, get to 3-1. But they are who they are. The Raiders are who they are. They're like a 500 team, and I don't know if you're going to get that much better. Do you put a lot of it on Derek Carr, or is this just a team? Do they need more talent overall on this roster?
they need more talent because I'm a big believer in Derek Carr, man. I think he has potential to be a great quarterback in the NFL,
Okay,
and he just
yeah,
needs more talent around him, which surprises me because John Gruden was known as a guy to go out and get talent. People love playing for him.
yeah. We'll see how much Henry Ruggs will bring to that offense. Going back 2 years ago, if we could rewrite the history, and I think maybe he would want to rewrite it too. Imagine if Antonio Brown doesn't force his way out of the Raiders organization. That could have been the guy to get them over the top. Imagine Antonio Brown on the Raiders right now.
Yeah, that would be pretty dangerous for anybody in that division. He'd be putting up big numbers.
Yeah. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. The 0-2-1 Eagles at the 2-1 49ers. I mean, a struggling Eagles team against a struggling Niners team with their backup quarterbacks. We saw both Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard in this game. We saw Nick Mullins with a pick six where he threw it. He hit Alex Singleton right between the numbers. It's like he was aiming for him. He just threw it, hit the linebacker right in the hands, no one else around him, and Singleton took it in for a pick six. Pretty much sealed the game. The Niners need to figure out they need to get Jimmy Garoppolo back as soon as possible because their backup quarterback situation isn't getting it done.
Yeah, and I mean the Niners aren't a terrible football team. They're just depleted with injuries. Like
Yeah, I
their
agree.
top stars are out. If all them guys were there, the Niners could very well be unbeaten.
Yep.
But yeah, they have to do something. I think C.J. Beathard is the best choice out of him and
Yeah.
Mullen, but that's just how I see it.
Yeah, and then Carson Wentz has struggled so much to start this year, but with this win at 1-2-1, they are leading the NFC East. Do you expect Carson Wentz to turn it around this year?
I do, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I just feel like he again is throwing to guys that are just no names,
yeah,
like the same thing that's in Washington. And
Yep,
I
and they
mean,
are. I agree with that, and they are expected to get both Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey back here soon, maybe as soon as next week.
oh yeah, that's gonna be a big difference.
Yeah, yep. They've been asking Wentz to do far too much. Two of the Monday Night Football games, the Patriots and Chiefs, got moved to Monday night, so we had two Monday night games. No Cam Newton because he tested positive for COVID, so Brian Hoyer gets to start. I know you would have preferred to see Jarrett Stidham all night instead of Brian Hoyer, who struggled. Some really poor officiating. Mahomes fumble that could have been returned for a touchdown, but the officials say no fumble. I'm going to sound like a hater here, but why does it seem like every time Mahomes has a turnover, the officials step in and throw a flag or call something?
You got to protect the face of the NFL.
Come on, man. Let's officiate everyone the same. Let's. You know what my biggest gripe with sports has been recently? Superstar calls. I'm getting sick of that shit.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the bad part is it's in every major league.
I know, and it's getting annoying. It's like just call it straight up. Stop giving preferential treatment to LeBron James and James Harden and Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Let's just call it like it is. That
And
Mahomes fumble, that was a fumble for every quarterback in the NFL. A BS call.
the thing about it is, like, and these players, if they complain about not getting that call with them being the face of their leagues, the next game they are going to get that call.
Exactly. We saw it with LeBron. He complained to the league about calls. The next game, he had like 26 free throws.
And that still continues to happen.
Yeah, I got beef, major beef with that. Also, did you see Patrick Mahomes bringing flopping to the league? He goes out of bounds, a guy barely touches him, and he flops and gets the call.
Yeah, Mahomes, man, I think if you take them receivers away, I don't know.
I mean, he's special. He's special. He can make any throw. His arm talent is as good as it gets. I'm not
Oh
going to
yeah,
hate on his talent, but I'm not a fan of the flopping. This is the NFL. It's not a place for flopping. If you want to flop, go play soccer, go play basketball. They reward flopping over there in the NBA. Let's,
yeah.
let's, let's not reward flopping in the NFL. Come on now.
That's just him trying to get an extra penalty.
Yeah, and the people say, oh, it's a good move. If it gets the officials to call it, then it's a good move. Bullshit. Clean it up. I don't want to see that shit.
And with their offense, they don't even really need all those extra
They
handed
don't.
to them
That's
calls.
the biggest thing. They do not need those calls. So stop rewarding, Mahomes for flopping. That's all I gotta say.
And I mean, because like when you get the Chiefs to punt the football, that has to be a big accomplishment because that never happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. A punt for the Chiefs is like a turnover for anybody else. But that's what frustrates me is that it's so difficult to stop this Chiefs offense. And then you actually get an interception on Mahomes or you actually get a turnover, a forced fumble, and then the refs step in. So that's my gripe. Now let's go to the Patriots who fall to 2-2, hoping to get Cam Newton back for Week 5. 2-2, but I still see, they get Cam back, and I think I was impressed with the Patriots defense on Monday night, and I think if they get Cam back here soon, they're definitely still in the shot to make a run, get to the playoffs either by winning the division or wild card, and make some noise in January.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, had Cam of not been out that game, it's a totally different outcome, and I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, if Cam played, I think the Patriots win that game. Their defense played well enough to win. Let's go to the other Monday night game, the 0-3 Falcons at the 3-0 Packers. Rodgers just dices up the Falcons secondary for 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to tight end Robert Tonyan, who the hell is Robert Tonyan? You put Robert Tonyan on the Bears, and he never touches the ball, but you put him in Green Bay, and Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns with him. I don't like it. I'm tired. Rodgers is killing it. Rodgers is a guy that he's not getting – I mean, he's getting love, but, he's sneakily been one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league so far.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, it's the fact that fans aren't going to show him love because he's Patrick Mahomes is there and Russell Wilson is there.
Yeah.
And
Rodgers is consistent. That's a thing that he needs to get more love. Is that he's always been this good, and eventually it starts to get like old. Like people aren't as impressed with it anymore. Rodgers is still slinging it like MVP.
yeah, which he could very well win it again this year.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. So Packers win 30-16. They remain undefeated at 4-0. The Falcons fall to 0-4, and I don't think any. I mean, we see Bill O'Brien get fired, but I think Dan Quinn's seat is even hotter than Bill O'Brien, and he already got fired. I don't think it gets any hotter for a head coach than Dan Quinn. We're counting the days until Dan Quinn gets fired.
Absolutely agree, man. I feel so bad for Julio Jones and Matty Ice. I mean, he's a consistent, 5,000-yard passer and still has nothing to get out of it.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, all those guys, man. It's like there's talent on that roster. They just can't find a way to win games.
They got to work on that defense, man.
They do, and that's the thing about Dan Quinn is he's a defensive coordinator. So I mean he's the head coach, and you got Raheem Morris, but Dan Quinn at the end of the day, the buck stops with him.
It seems like, guys who are defensive coordinators or old defensive coaches just can't be head coaches.
Yeah, you don't see too many times of it. You see Vic Fangio with the Broncos, but they're struggling too. So you don't see it all too often. I like it when defensive coordinators get head coaching positions, but it's getting more and more rare. So
Yeah.
that does it for week 4. Pretty exciting week, and I can't wait for week 5 with more action in store tomorrow night. Bears Bucks is going to be a hell of a game. And we'll see how this season continues to progress, but it's been a lot of fun so far. Hopefully we get, continue to get negative tests. Don't have any teams getting hit like the Titans did. And hopefully we see the Titans back on the field here soon after they get clean.
Yeah, I hope they have to forfeit a couple games. I hate the Titans.
Hey, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. We'll see. I want to see him lose on the field, not for forfeiture. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for coming on, Dustin. Good shit as always. It was fun talking to the NFL.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was a great show.
Yep. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate all the support. You can find this podcast on iTunes, Pandora, all that stuff. Stitcher. What else we got? Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So search us on your favorite podcast app and check us out. We'll keep these episodes coming out. Like I said, we got a big coach interview coming up next week. So good, big things on the horizon. Appreciate all the support. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.